to keep in mind with this kind of draft.
Well, we'll get into it, John. Game number 2. Fnatic definitely need to pull off this victory. Otherwise, they are going down to the lower bracket. Boom Esports would love to...
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Definitely would. I mean, you don't want to risk it into a game. They had a fantastic start already. Fantastic, very quick game coming out from Boom. Just driving Fnatic to the corner there. So they would want to keep up that pace. They're the ones in high spirits. They're the ones with momentum under their belt. They'd want to keep that going. And Fnatic is on a bit of a back foot. You know, they've got a better draft than game 1 for sure. They're not like picking up Morphling into the AA. They have a lot more options here. I think giving Ice his Timbersaw is going to allow him to really shine. Like, he plays a pretty solid Underlord, but I think ever since we've been casting them, like, for the past year or 2 years, every time we see a team pick Ice, the Underlord, it just doesn't feel like it's the kind of hero he enjoys. It's not trolly enough.
Right.
He's really like...
30 seconds.
He's dead?
Yeah, just resets under the tower and immediate disconnect for the lag.
Every time you die like that, you've got to disconnect, got to just... There's a bit of lag going. A bit unfortunate of a pause time as well, because you've got KSQ kind of rotating here onto Ice up at the top lane with Dreamer Cell. Not like they're really going to kill him off, but you'd love to get as much damage out as possible. And Ice should preemptively just run. He already is anyway, but never know what could happen if we didn't have to go through this pause.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had a pause. You do tend to see a bit more in Southeast Asia, but the internet has been good for the most part for the past few days on the series. So, you know, this is well, not too unfortunate. You already lost Kezcutin. You already lost your Pango, so not the biggest deal. Gonna be dancing around those runes afterwards. Just a bit of a wait, you know, patience must be tested every now and again. Southeast Asia teaches you to be a patient person.
Oh, if BZ gives the go ahead, we'll just wait on Fnatic. They're going to chase him down, but they're not really going to get too much out of it. They'll just force Ice back towards that mid lane a little bit. Not too big of a deal. He's going to try and come back up, see if he can take the Baron away from Kezcute. But well, now with DJ there, Kezcute could be in trouble. Yeah, it'll be almost secure. Looks like a 2-for-2 trade. They do get the other one down the bot lane for Boom. In terms of lanes, FBZ, of course, is going to be in the off-lane as that Pango, and he'll have the support of Hyde on the Shadow Demon. They'll be up against Jabs on the Oracle, and we do also have 23 Savage there on the Troll Warlord. You'd make the argument this should be an easier lane for Savage.
It should be easier. It really hangs on the fact of how far can you really push that swashbuckle. You get those lucky shots off, you are going to be slowing the farm down of that Troll, and DJ is copying so much in exchange from Kezcute.
That's the problem with the Phoenix, right? Like, you're a tiny with a crazy slow attack speed already, and then Fire Spirits make it so much slower. The DJ, he'll survive. You need Fire Spirits to really finish this job off, or maybe not. Dream Assault wasn't in range for the dagger, couldn't slow him down, and that'll be the end of that. But DJ doesn't have any regen, so he may have to just go back all the way to the fountain, but Kezcute's continuing the chase. He wants the kill. Fire Spirit's up in 2, but it's not going to be quick enough, and he does get a salve from his courier. Kezcute would have loved to get the cancel off on that, but he won't try with the spirits.
Yeah, that pull does cost him a bit. A few of the creeps weren't really killed off with any hero around, so they do miss out on a bit of EXP. I'm not sure if Boom's really going to be upset about that.
I don't think the Phoenix will. Dream Missile, he's been going perfectly fine. In KSQ, I mean, sure, it's a Phoenix, you want the XP as best you can, but at the very least with this hero, you do have that catch-up potential with Fire Spirits. Like, you can just rotate through a jungle and clear the camps up fairly easily. DJ is going to be as disruptive as possible, but he doesn't really block the stack. Doesn't really mind too much. I'm sure he just wants to make sure there's no pull going on here from KSQ.
Yeah, it does take a while for Ice to start applying that pressure on the Timber side. That's something we see with this hero. You do need maybe level 3, level 4 to start being a complete menace. Doesn't quite have all the tools he needs to really just stand there.
Well, you can do that. Dream Assault blinks away, but he's so close. Ice has Whirling Death and gets the kill. With a hero like Tiny, when you have Avalanche Toss, you get one Whirling Death off, and those stats, they really matter.
Definitely. It looked a bit weird from Boom. They went in to play aggressive as well, while not knowing where DJ was, but they knew he was in that side of the jungle.
Well, now Hyde goes down to the bot lane. So they also end up finding the Shadow Demon. It's going to be a 3-0 already for Fnatic. 1k net worth lead. It's almost like a mirror match of what we saw last game. They are not willing to give that early game advantage away to a team like Boom Esports who can really capitalize off that. And this looks more like the old Fnatic already.
Definitely. It's a much better showing in the initial starter of this match. They do have a bit of a lead. I wouldn't say this is significant just yet. I think the last hits on the board are fairly evenly matched up. The biggest difference is Dream Assault's performance up against Savage. Savage is definitely having a much freer lane, and this is going to allow him to hit a better timing on his itemization. We saw him kind of struggle on the Morphling last time. This time on the Troll, really not feeling that pressure as much. He has great sustain from jabs. And Boom has just not been able to really lay it onto him as they did in Game 1. FBZ and Hyde just kind of focusing on finding their own farm.
Haste.
Everything going very well for Fnatic. In fact, top 3 last hits right now on the board are all Fnatic. They are just essentially for now winning every single lane. Ice unwilling to back off here for the neutral creeps, and he doesn't really need to. Like, you've got Fire Spirits on KSQ, but they're only level 2. And while the damage is nice, it's not that high.
It's you have lost the point where you can bully the Timbersaw out. At level 4, he's just going to be able to stand his ground, trade whatever he wants, start to find his own farm, and that can give DJ a little bit more space to just start stacking up the jungle or get a rotation down, although there hasn't really been a big need to. Like that mid lane matchup of Mikado up against Moon. Moon has certainly just drawn away. Just a lot more sustain and damage to fly out from him.
Bot lane. Jump there onto jabs. This should be a kill, although Nice Fortunes end onto 3, but it will not matter. Boom did pick up their first kill of the game on the position 5 Oracle. Did end up costing them at least a rotation there from Makoto. Looks like Makoto is struggling in that mid lane, by the way. Like, Moon's already hit 6 when Makoto is still sitting at 5. It's just hard, right? Because he can't actually get close to the creeps to CS with that Spirit Siphon. He's just
not
been constantly sitting back.
It's not a favorable lane for the Void Spirit. Moon has gotten a lot more. Doesn't quite invest in this Exorcism just yet, trying to see whether or not he can get a tower push going, or if he should just go greedy to try to clear out these creeps. And it doesn't matter either way. Mikado just does not have the presence you'd want the Void Spirit to have. He's forced to really start walking around. You do see, yeah, Moon just really take over this lane without too much rotations as well.
Dream Assault TPing back towards his top tier 2 tower, and it's looking very rough for this PA. Looks like he may try and just go to the jungle for a bit. Not exactly what you want as a level 5 PA. In fact, he's moving mid.
Dire's top tower.
And they're going to try after Moon. Makoto has hit 6 so they could, but Hyde also rotates in, but where's the disruption? He's not in range, and that rotation completely wasted.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, that's a strange movement from Boom. You would understand the Shadow Demon walking down, but Dreamocell, it's a bit early. He doesn't even have his level 6 to really find those kills. Really aggressive movement from Boom to try to find something. They might at least find Moon in the end. They are
They
coalition.
should. He does get Spirit Siphon onto Makoto. We'll throw another one onto Dreamocell. He's just getting up through it. Now the rotation's coming from jabs. Fortune's End will lock in the Phoenix, but Moon, he wants to turn around and go for somebody else. He doesn't get anyone, but at the same time, Boom cannot kill this Death Prophet.
They definitely can't. They've got good amount of levels onto Moon. Does have that Spirit Siphon finally maxed out. Again, just kind of confused as to why Dreamocell had to do that. Like, the lane against the Timbersaw is not easy, sure. But you'd expect to at least farm the jungle instead of being pressured to do this rotation. And this is really going to impact that progression for the PA. Already a bit of a slow start for Dreamocell. Gonna get even slower. 2.2k net worth so far, in big contrast to Savage at 3.4.
BZ struggling at the bot lane as the Pango is forced to back off towards his tier 1. And, you know, speaking of the Pangolier, that is some really, really unfortunate farm for him. 1.8k net worth on FBZ right now. And it's not very rare you see FBZ that low in terms of gold.
Definitely. He tends to at least draw even on his offlane, but this time around it's just been way too much. I think the sustain that jabs have been giving on that Oracle and the damage he's been pumping out, it's just been a bit too much for that duo. So it is a much slower start for Boom. They're gonna have to try to secure themselves some jungle farm, especially for Dreamocell. I don't think he's gonna be able to hold a lane unless you do throw supports to help him out. It's not an easy task for a PA.
This is just getting from bad to worse. Savage now, he's gonna rotate up top. They could theoretically set up a tier 2 push already, and Ice, he's just checking the back lines, making sure nobody's around. Savage at level 7 wants to start forcing in a tier 2 top. This is without the DP there. They just feel that confident that they can do it. And while they're doing that, Moon could always just force in the tier 1 mid. Like, you can't defend both.
Definitely can't. And Boom is kind of stretched in. We're not seeing them go into that team fight mode yet because Kezcute still has to hit level 6. And even FBZ still right at the precipice of getting that next level, but not quite there. Moon does pop the extra 7 to go for that tier 1 now.
Well, he'll get the 6 on the Pango now, but I don't know if you can fight into this. Ice frontlining at level 8.
Radiance
FBZ thinking about it, but does cancel. Kezcute is still level 4 on the Phoenix. So chances are he can't do anything either.
is under attack.
They don't want to sack the lane, they want to try and defend the best they can. I just don't think there's a choice here, they have to leave. Instead, they will go ahead and chase DJ down. It's the only kill they can probably afford to take, and they will be able to pick it up high on the Shadow Demon, the one to take it for himself. But the mid-tier 1 is gone.
I'd say Fnatic definitely happy with that trade. They trade away a support for the mid-tier 1, so much more control onto the map. This does allow them to basically take complete control of that top jungle. And boom, they find that trade, but they're 3k behind, they're losing map control. Their PA still needs to start working on the Desolator, just finished Power Treads. And you need to somehow give Kezcute EXP.
It's tough. It's rough. We have to that 10-minute mark, the 2.
Is under attack.
It's flying out, perhaps, onto Kezcute now.
Structures are fortified.
Oh, Ice top lane. Diving a tier 3 tower, gets Hyde on the Shadow Demon, now thinks about going after FBZ. There's just nobody that can kill him. He's just having a free game on this Timbersaw.
Dire's top tower is under
They are still thinking about pushing that top tier 2.
I mean, they can constantly just apply pressure there and force the rotations from Boom. That's already enough damage to the economy of Boom, because they can't just go to the side lanes where it's free to farm up. They need to keep a constant eye on this top lane for Ice shoving it out. I mean, the Timber itself isn't going to get that push done, but the creeps will slowly whittle away at it, and that does deserve a response. So Boom is just forced to play into Fnatic's game plan every single time this time around in Game 2.
Now, the PA getting caught out. Dreamersaur really has no way out of this, I don't think. No TP's coming in. He is going to die. And top lane? Well, they're going after Ice, but can they actually take him out? He's so tanky. They try. He just turns now with Whirling Death. This could be dangerous to keep going after this. And Ice, he walks away.
Just no damage. They just don't have the damage on their heroes right now to melt that tanky Timbersaw. And Ice doesn't even have any tank items on him yet. No Hood of Defiance, no Vanguard up. He's just a Timbersaw, and Boom is just so far behind that they have no solution. Even Mikado's damage is lacking for that tanky hero. That's definitely not the target they can clear out now.
Mikado. Trying to get Savage, but Savage is just giving it to him every time he makes a mistake. And the mental warfare has begun between these two. As KSQ gonna get run into now. He is just about to hit 6 as well. Just needs 1 tick of XP. He will not get it. And Hyde, he'll be able to run away, but I mean this could be another very early GG call the way this is going.
It does feel that way. Like,
they're gonna try and mid onto Moon, but no.
They just can't. Like, they're waiting for Dreamocell to farm up in that PA. You look at that net worth bar graph. He's just so far behind. It's not funny. You know, they're just really far behind, and Boom, it feels like what they did in Game 1, Fnatic is doing to them in Game 2. And there's just no response. Boom has just kind of has to take it, lose their entire map. They lost their tier 2 up top. They're losing control in that jungle. And Fnatic is just doing all of this while Savage is just farming up. So he's going to have an SNY relatively quickly. He's going to work straight into that MKB to deal with a PA. They are scanned out in the Roche. So Boom knows it's happening.
What are they going to do about that?
Contest. I mean, they have these Supernova, so they could try, but that's not going to be a very slow Roche. It's going to be a very fast Roche.
Yeah, they're going to hurry. They've got Rolling Thunder, Supernova. They're going to get in there now. Roshan, 1/3 of HP left. They jump in. They have down the Oracle. They can burst them down. It would be great, but they can't. Fate's Edict will save for now. The Rolling Thunder is bouncing with FBZ. They do finally kill the Oracle, so maybe now you could take this team fight, but FBZ dies on the Pangolier. Still, they do jump forward with the Void Spirit. Makoto, he does die. Supernova did nothing.
Dreamocell.
And, alright, Dreamocell apparently got the troll. I imagine that was a dead crit coming out. And with that, Boom, you'd call that a successful team fight. If you get another disruption onto Ice. Hyde. Probably going to go down. Ice, he's not done yet. He wants more. Although he has run out of mana. He may have overextended the Sun Ring. Going to start burning him down, but it actually does 0 damage. That's not a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, they do stop the Roche. They did find 2 targets there from Boom. They did have to trade a couple of heroes. You did get a kill in Dreamocell, so it does help your PA. That's the biggest target you really have to kind of put on life support now. We'll try to pump up, and as soon as Dreamocell finishes up that Desolator, at the very least, you can really start to go for these kills. You're at the point where the right clicks from the Troll are going to be a bit inconsistent, although it's only a level 1 blur on Dreamocell, so there are still vulnerabilities there.
Moon, he fell low, but the Fate's Edict coming out from jabs will block out a lot of the magic damage that was coming. Still Boom, showing signs of life. They've almost got the Desolator up on Dreamocell. So there's that, but he's definitely going to need something like a BKB straight after. You look at DJ on the Tiny John, he's got a Blink Dagger coming out on the Courier, and that becomes a very problematic situation for Boom, as now you have so many ways of initiating for the side of Fnatic. And they may go back into the Roshan pit soon.
At the very least, Boom does have the Supernova ready in case that fight does break out. They've got a ward watching that entrance, so they're much more aware.
Still very, very confident with Ice's movement, but they just can't deal any damage to the guy. And they will go for Roshan again. X the pop. Well, they know, but it's a matter of can they do that team fight again. Ice, he's on the cliff waiting. They know they're coming. He's scouting out for the team, and a nice charge from him at the staircase. The Roshan is super low. They have vision of the HP, but how do you break that gap? You do not. It goes down to Savage, and now Avalanche set up from DJ. Hyde is falling very, very low on that Shadow Demon, and should drop as Ice. In fact, it will be Moon who picks it up. They do commit the Supernova, and now with the wrong Thunder, they could hold them down, but it looks like it will do nothing anyway. Like, Supernova Stun is great, but if you don't have the follow-up damage, it doesn't mean anything.
Nah, definitely doesn't. And Fnatic does finally take that Rosh. They do get the Aegis. They're still not quite done. Boom is still trying to posture around, but it's just lagging. Right? They found us 2 kills earlier on. This time around, Ice broke the smoke way too early. Couldn't reach into the pit, and that's where their kit really shines. That's where the Supernova really does its work. And outside of that area, they just can't. So they gave up the egg. They're going to have to give up this objective as well.
Now Savage. Gonna clean up that mid lane and all high. Sticking around way too long. Fnatic just clean him up. I wouldn't even blame them for trying to go high ground now. Like, they've got the Aegis, they're just so much stronger. With an 8k net worth advantage, they go down bottom step, but they're going to chase after the Void Spirit of Makoto. He will actually step away. He'll be fine. Just trying to find any kind of trade for themselves. But there's just nothing.
They're just trying to spread themselves across a map where they have no control. Fnatic can just clump up and kind of punish. They've got Keski to help Makoto.
Makoto gonna get chased down now. Savage, can you get him snare off? Not quite, but he is gonna continue the chase. As now 8 to run will connect Makoto. Astral steps to the right into the trees, and Keski will immediately TP away on the Phoenix. They are buying time to their PA. That's the one positive here. Dreamer's Soul does now have the Desolator up. And I think once you do have the BKB up on the PA, that's when you kind of have some sort of potential to take a fight.
Definitely. It's what Boom is waiting out for. They still have a lot more to buy. Like, they're going to have to buy a lot more time out for Dreamer's Soul. But he can at least burst the backline, or at least the Oracle much faster. Jab is going to be much less of a troublesome target to deal with your PA at this point. Of course, the disarm is still a constant threat. As long as someone else takes it first, you're going to be fine. So they have a way of taking away that durability that Fnatic has. That's not going to stop Fnatic from the pushes right now, though.
No, definitely not. We'll get a TP bot tower. Do you feel like going high ground, Fnatic? It looks like the answer is yes. They have Exorcism, they have an Aegis. Savage says, let's go.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Going for a very, very difficult defense, but if they manage the amazingness, FBZ getting jumps, he'll be fine. Savage, half HP down. Still safe with that Aegis of the Immortal. FBZ, this is the swashbuckle. Rolling Thunder will be committed. He's going to go for a chaser onto Savage. And you still have the Aegis, so this is a dangerous team fight, but they do actually end up getting it. Now the Phoenix has died way too far, however. Keski needs to commit the edge, but he is surrounded. And that swashbuckle just was not there in time. And FBZ now still being chased as DJ will have an avalanche very soon. Oh, he shouldn't have jumped off the cliff. He gets thrown back the other way. And I guess there was no way out anyway. And now Fnatic, a 5v3 situation. We'll go after that bottom racks once again.
It's going to be a really easy push, even with the respawn from our Phoenix. They don't have the egg. That's the only tool Boom has in big team fight, the egg and the rolling thunder. And this is just going to be a free set of racks.
It certainly will be.
Radiant's top tower.
First racks of the game going down. 11k net worth lead now for Fnatic, and it's just growing at a very steady rate. Make matters worse for Boom. There's a double damage that gets scouted out now, so Savage will have himself a very nice DD. Won't be able to use it in a fight anyway, but it's always nice with the Lux on your side.
Oh yeah, just so much more going the way of Fnatic right now. All the things lining up really, and
well, they're gonna smoke up. Boom. They seem to maybe believe they could find an opening. You are now fighting into the BKB of 23 Savage. And he still has that DD active for another 15 seconds, so that could be a very dangerous premise. Ice definitely not the target they want. That's the worst one they could possibly go for. BZ jumps in, misses the swashbuckle, needs to roll thunder away. No, instead, they're going to go off the jabs, but he got the pulse forward off in time, and now the team fight starts. FBZ trying to control off the troll and DJ on the tiny. Looks like Jabs does eventually die, bring himself, but now Savage, he'll go after Hyde on that Shadow Demon. Meanwhile, the PA, who are jumping on, they do find DJ on the tiny, but Moon trying to fight back against Ringersoul trying to man fight, but he has no HP left, and he does end up dying. And Fnatic now may feel confident enough to just move high ground again.
yeah, they've got the exorcism off. This should really help them out with the tower push. They catch Mikado out as well.
Yeah, this is really bad. No, that's available on the Savage gonna go after Hyde. I believe Hyde just fought back on the Shadow Demon, and he's gonna die again, and indeed it was a dieback. 24 minutes in, we might see a GG call. Honestly, like I don't think there's much of a chance left for Boom here. It's kind of surprising they went for that smoke attack, considering you still didn't have the BKB on the PA.
I think
Not like
they're
they were
just kind
really
of
desperate.
desperate. Yeah, they've got no way to really farm up. They don't have space in the map anymore. They were pretty much throwing out a Hail Mary there. It doesn't work out.
Well, they try again, FBZ, moving forward. Toss is going to be there from DJ. He needs to throw the roll thunder out. There's going to be a supernova, but they're already basically mega. It's just one range creep away. They're going to try and fight anyway, though. Ice, he's pretty low, and maybe with the sunray they can burst him down, though. No, they definitely can't. Boom will keep moving forward regardless. It's Ice again that's the target, but he just turns, and Kescute is almost in. In fact, Crypt Swarm won't be enough, but they do get it with the right click from Moon. And FBZ forced it back. There is still range barracks, but Fnatic look like they're not going to back off until that is gone, and I cannot blame them. Disarm from FBZ. Mikado gets used up. And that will be the mega creeps now. They'll still try and go for the team by Savage. Pops the BKB and Battle Trance. He wants to try and find somebody out of this, and it looks like FBZ will happily get caught on the Pangolier. And there's the GG call coming out.
Yeah, fast game this time around from Fnatic. They fix up the issues they had with their Game 1 draft. Boom does go a bit too slow with the way they drafted this one. The PA pick really doesn't work out.